If you're just joining us, breaking news, Golden State Warriors president of basketball operations and GM, Bob Myers, two-time executive of the year and architect of the four-time NBA champs, is stepping down today, and he told ESPN it's just time. So press conference at 1 o'clock today. Bob Myers gone from the Golden State Warriors. We'll be I'm going to the presser today at 1 o'clock, Shaska. I don't know if you want to join
let's
me.
just start here.
So Bob Myers
you are
is
the
gone.
face of the television pre- and post-game show for the Golden State Warriors. You obviously have a friendship with Bob.
We both
There's
do.
a business relationship
We all do.
as well.
Steiny, Guru, everybody.
What are you feeling?
Man, I'm a little sad. I'm not going to lie. I'm
really
a little
sad.
and I'm a little unsure about the direction of the franchise moving forward. Who fills in for Bob Myers? But just the person. Like, he's been so good to us here at 95.7 The Game, whether it's Guru, Steiny, whether it's myself, you. We've gotten to know him personally, seen him at games. Over the last 6-7 years since I've been here at the station, it's a sad day in Golden State Warriors basketball. It's a very sad day. He's been that connector from Joe Lacob to Steve Kerr to Draymond Green, Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson. He's been a great person to the media. He's been a great family guy. What does it mean for his future? Is he leaving basketball altogether? This guy's been a basketball lifer. Whether it's been an agent, a player, a GM, what is he doing in the future? I'm sad right now. Bob Myers is gone.
Who takes over?
Yeah, that's what I mentioned. Who fills in for him? I mean, we don't know.
Who is now part of the domino? Like, is there other shoes to drop? Does Draymond say I'm opting out?
Does Steve Kerr leave? Does Steve Kerr say I'm done?
Wow, I don't know, man. This sucks because whether people think he did a great job or not, he is the head figure when it comes to the constructing the roster for championships.
Yep, four championships.
4. That's more than Bill Walsh. Bill Walsh had 3. Now, I know you could say, Joe, they won with his guys. Okay, sure. I subscribe to that. He absolutely built that roster, and Seifert gets credit for taking it to the 4th Super Bowl. That's more than Bochy and Sabian. That's more than, like I said, Bill Walsh, even if you want to credit him with the 4th one. Damn. I mean, this is huge. And then, how does Steph Curry feel about this?
Did they know this? So this happens a month before his contract was going to expire. Bob Myers steps down as president of basketball operations and GM of the Golden State Warriors. Bob Myers is done. And look, we got some jokes here. We like to joke. Oscar Perez. It's a sad day for 95.7 The Game host losing to Bob Myers seats. That is pretty funny there. There's bigger news here. Wow, where do the Warriors go from here? Adam on Twitter. First time all year I've heard any talk about the A's from you guys. Naturally, you'll never adjust the role the Giants have played in the current state of the A's. Oh, and of course, the Woj Bob drops when you finally start to talk about the A's. In case you try to join us again tomorrow, Woj has a story up. I'll try to read some of the details here. 888-957-9570. I want to go to Dub Nation here.
Damn.
How are we feeling now that the news is official? Bob Myers is stepping down. He told ESPN it is just time. He's led the franchise for 12 years. 12 years, won 4 championships. He's 48 years old. He says he's unsure of his future professional pathway, but should he someday decide to return to the team side, he's expected to become one of the most pursued executives in modern North American professional sports history. So he's scheduled to talk today at 1 o'clock. It got pushed back from 12 o'clock. He'll talk at 1 o'clock, which should be a packed presser today at Chase Center. And we'll carry it live right here on 95.7 The Game.
Full details from Adrian Wojnarowski. Here's a quote. With Myers' departure, now this is Adrian Wojnarowski writing, with Myers' departure, Warriors owner Joe Lacob is expected to seek more prominent roles for his son, Kirk, an executive VP of basketball operations, and VP of basketball operations, Mike Dunleavy Jr.
Wow. How do fans feel about that? Is Kurt Lacob ready for a role like this? Mike Dunleavy Jr., we've talked about it. He's been in the system now for a couple years now. The assistant GM with the Golden State Warriors. Is he ready for this? 888-957-9570. If you're just joining us, Bob Myers has stepped down from the Golden State Warriors as the president of basketball operations and GM of the Golden State Warriors. Is this the first domino to fall for a dynasty that's hanging on for dear life here? Is this the first domino in what could be a tumultuous offseason for the Golden State Warriors?
I know there are a lot of fans. I'm not saying everyone, and I'm not saying the majority, but I know there are a lot of fans who don't give two rips about front office people. And they just, all they care about is the games and them. Do you care? Do you care that you're losing somebody so impactful to the community and to the team and to the players that you love so dearly? Do you care that they're obviously it's his time to walk away?
Or do you think that this is a good move for the Golden State Warriors? Do you think the Warriors need a new voice on top or at the top? Do you think the Warriors need a new voice in the front office? Do they need a guy who's not as connected to the core, to Steve Kerr, to make tough decisions that the Warriors are going to have to make over the next couple of years when it involves Jordan Poole, Jonathan Kuminga, Andrew Wiggins, Draymond Green, and Klay Thompson? Wow. Wow. Let's go to Priest and Palo Alto.
If you wanted a movement, I feel like this might actually – I feel like you're going to get some roster movement now. This is just my gut speculation.
This could be. Priest, Palo Alto, how are you feeling this morning?
Wow.
What's up, Priest?
Wow.
What's up, brother? Feeling all right. It doesn't surprise me one bit. Not one bit. This GM, who I think is one of the best, and this is a huge loss. But he's trying to push the organization forward and seeing the need to evolve. And the superstar and the head coach wouldn't allow it. You got 3 lottery picks. This dude had 82 games to get them 82 to get those kids ready to go. And he wouldn't allow it. And the superstar had as much to do with it as anybody. Steph is dead set behind Draymond Green. And that money that was going to go to James Wiseman, Draymond wanted it, and Steph stood behind him. This team is not going to move forward until the superstar allows it.
Wow.
Period.
Wow. Thanks for the call, Priest. 888-957-9570. How are we feeling about the news now?
650. This one hurts. Felt like he was one of the foundational pieces we needed to lock down a kick butt offseason.
Yep. Doesn't mean that Joe Lacob will have more control over the roster decisions. And is that a good thing to have Joe Lacob involved more in the roster decisions? A lot of owners who do partake in the roster decisions, it doesn't always work out well.
He does own the team, though.
He does own the team. He can do what he wants. But is that a good thing not to have him having more power or Kurt Lacob having more power? Is that a good thing for the organization moving forward?
I think it's inevitable. I think he always had power. But when you own the team, you can put people in positions of power however you choose. And the success will be on the court, not whether we like it or not. If they succeed on the court, it will mean nothing. If they don't succeed on the floor, then we're going to crush them. Think about Jed York getting the job. What many felt prematurely, even though he would say that he rose the ranks. When Jed was winning, we liked him. When they weren't winning, we hated him. It's very cut and dry to me when it comes to ownership. Win.
Now, we read the tea leaves all season long. Joe Lacob tried to get out in front of it and say, look, I offered him a couple contracts. Bob Myers didn't get the contract before the season. Obviously, maybe wanted to get paid the highest, wanted to be the highest paid GM, I should say, or president of basketball operations, of course. But we could kind of read the tea leaves. And Shams and Anthony Slater, who do a great job at recovering the league. They said it a couple Thursdays ago. The Warriors and Bob Myers were bracing themselves. And I told you this. I said this in the 6 o'clock. Chansky, we had this conversation in the 6 o'clock hour. We had it again in the 8 o'clock hour. We knew this press conference. I knew this press conference was coming a couple Thursdays ago. Not that he was stepping down. I don't want to say that. I did not know what was going to go down. But I did get the call a couple Thursdays ago, and I explained this to you, how it works. Yeah. The Warriors are partners with us here at 95.7 The Game and NBC Sports. They're not going to, if there's a report out there, I like to check it and say, hey, is there any validity to this? Because obviously we're going to do what we have to do for our radio show to provide content to our audience. Mm-hmm. A lot of people ask questions about what's going on with our pro teams here in the Bay Area. So I was tipped off, basically saying, hey, there's going to be a presser a day after Memorial Day. Now, in that call, it was said, which in my mind was the first time I thought, boy, there's a real possibility Bob Myers can move on. And it felt like he may move on. when in that call, it was said, there is a chance he steps away and takes a year off. There is a chance he walks away, and that decision will be made in the next couple weeks. Now the decision has been made, and he's stepping down as the president of basketball operations at GM of the Golden State Warriors. Let's go to Steven in San Jose. Steven, what's happening? You're on the roast. Or actually, Big Smooth first. Big Smooth in Oakland, what's happening?
Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
I guess I'm more surprised at the reaction. We've been hearing about this. Tell me who's shocked at this. This has been out there. He didn't sign the biggest offer to become the highest paid offer. That was the telltale sign. What's going to happen? Just like in sports, the next guy up, probably Dunleavy. I mean, I guess I don't see the magnitude. I know Bob Myers was the greatest that was, but I mean, listen, he's a married man. He has family. It obviously wasn't the money. Who knows, man? Wifey might have been like, hey, we're not who we used to be. Who knows? For whatever reason. But I guess I'm surprised that wow.
Well, can I say this? Can I? And I'll let you finish. Name me an organization that's hit 2 home runs back-to-back at GM, like across sports. I just think that's really hard.
That's really hard.
That's all. I think that's really hard.
No argument. The greatest there was. My hope, and I knew it wasn't going to happen, my hope is that, hey, we do a last dance scenario. Come on, Bob. Let's go one more time.
Yeah.
Let's just overspin. Let's do what we have to do. Let's give it one more crack. That was my hope and my desire. But, again, when he didn't sign that sheet, that kind of pretty much told me everything I needed to know. Now, listen, whoever comes in, they're not going to have to reinvent the wheel. The path has already been set. This man has showed us or showed the people in the organization the direction to go in.
Yeah, now, but don't they also have to
be tough
Steve Kerr? The Steve Kerr decision has to be made. Do you extend him, or does he go into a lame duck year?
Right.
What do you do with Draymond Green if he opts in?
What do you do with
Klay Thompson, Andrew Wiggins, the Jordan Poole conundrum, the youngsters conundrum? Like you just step right in and everything's good to go. Right. I disagree with that.
There's another little nugget here too. Big Smooth, go ahead and finish the call. Finish the call, Big Smooth. We'll let you go.
I think that those decisions were already tough. They're not just making those decisions today.
That I agree with.
Bob probably already, those decisions were, no one said, okay, Bob's gone, what are we going to do with Draymond? Those things are already talked about. Yeah. They're not like us. They're not just waking up saying, these guys have been working on this forever.
Agreed.
That's what we forget as fans. They're not like us. These guys go into this way before we even think about it. I mean, at least I hope they do. If not, sign me up for one of those jobs. If they're just waking up thinking about this today, sign me up for one of those jobs.
No doubt. Good call, Big Smooth. Listen, Myers, according to that article, reportedly turned down ownership offers.
Wow.
He was offered a piece of the team and reportedly turned down ownership offers from the Golden State Warriors.
So that tells me he was ready to do something else. In the same way Kevin Durant was searching for something different, Bob Myers is searching for something different in his either personal or professional life right now.
Wow, that's surprising right there.
And then, there's the element about Lakeup, and I'm sure people are going to crush his kid, and they're going to come in saying, what's his son done, and blah, 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 blah.
It's a tough spot for Kirk Lakeup.
Of course it is.
They are behind the 8 ball. Think about it. When a prominent face like Bob Myers steps down, and Bob Myers has done so many good things for this organization, and Kirk Lakeup is unproven, and you have a Stephen Curry who's still playing at a very high level, a top 10 player in this league, this is a tough gig. But if it is Kirk, and if it is Mike Dunleavy Jr. to get promoted and run things, this is a very difficult spot for them. Well, and this fan base is they've already kind of turned their back on Lakeup, saying he's the reason why.
Well,
I don't agree with all that.
But here's what I would say.
I don't agree with all that. But the fan base thinks differently, Shasky.
I hear you, but I prefer a cutthroat, emotionless grinder who is hell-bent on winning at every single turn. Does that mean that he's going to be successful without Bob Myers? No. Jerry Jones has a long history of not winning the big one, right? But I just personally, I trust this dude. He has been a successful owner from the jump with this team, and he's won in a variety of ways. Granted, he's worked in concert with this guy. At what point has he let us down? He's earned, if Joe Lakeup hasn't earned the benefit of the doubt to at least go, let's see what it looks like, then nobody in sports has earned it.
But hold on. You brought up Jerry Jones, and you know how I feel about Jerry Jones. He ran out Jimmy Johnson. They got the Super Bowl with Jimmy Johnson's team, Barry Switzer or whatnot, and they haven't even made an NFC title game since then. Now, he's drafted good players. They've made good personnel decisions. Mm-hmm. But the head coaching spot, he's hung on to guys for too long.
I agree.
He's hired the wrong guys.
But I would say that Jerry suffered from a little bit of what Bob Myers, he's too attached to some of his guys.
Yes.
He was too attached to Zeke, and that's why he gave him an extension. I love Bob. He knows. I've told him every time I've had a chance to talk to him. I love the guy. But there is something to be said for, if you want to win again, Warrior fans, you almost need to cut that dude at the top.
You need to cut the, and there's a decision. Dude, what are you doing?
Right now.
And it's right now.
Right
and
now.
You know what? We talked about this last week. Maybe Bob Myers, who is very close to Draymond Green and Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and his core and growing up with them guys. He always talks about that flight to Boston last year where they all sat together and talked for hours. Maybe Bob Myers is like, you know what? I know there's hard decisions to be made. Now's the perfect time to walk away and let somebody else make those decisions. Maybe. Maybe he's just burnt out. I have no idea. We're going to find out at 1 o'clock. Bob Myers will carry it live right here on 95.7 The Game. Steiny and Guru will have it. They're going to talk about this all show long. Get rid of all your Giants content, Steiny. Get rid of all your Garoppolo content. It's all about Bob Myers, who just stepped down as president of basketball operations and GM of the Golden State Warriors.
What a seesaw of a morning.